In 1855, a British surveyor named Thomas Whitley was commissioned to document infrastructure across the Carpathian region. His journals, now archived in the Royal Geographical Society, contain detailed sketches of over 40 stone arch bridges. What caught his attention wasn't their age or their size. It was something he described as architecturally impossible. 37 of these bridges had no visible foundation. The stone arches began at ground level, sometimes at the waterline, with no supporting base structure beneath them. Whitley wrote that he attempted to excavate around 3 of these sites to locate the foundation. He found nothing. The stones simply sat on compressed earth, as if placed there, not built up from below. His report was filed, but never published. The follow-up survey scheduled for 1857 was quietly cancelled. The standard explanation is that these were simple rural crossings built by local craftsmen using techniques passed down through generations. That explanation accounts for some things, but not this. If these bridges were built using traditional masonry methods, they would require footings, especially in regions with seasonal flooding and freeze-thaw cycles. The absence of any foundation should have caused collapse within years, not centuries. Yet many of these structures were still standing when Whitley documented them, and some remain today. What's missing here is any record of maintenance, reconstruction, or failure. There's another detail Whitley recorded but didn't emphasize. The bridges weren't small. The average span was between 40 and 60 feet. The stones used in the arches were not rough-cut or irregular. They were dressed, uniform, and fitted without mortar in many cases. He noted that the keystones, the central stones at the top of each arch, were often larger than a man. In one sketch, he drew a figure standing beneath an arch for scale. The clearance above the water was over 12 feet. For a rural foot crossing, that's excessive. For a horse cart, it's unnecessary. The proportions suggest these bridges were designed for something else. But Whitley didn't speculate on what. Once you notice it in one place, it becomes harder to ignore elsewhere. Similar bridges appear in records from the Balkans, northern Italy, southern France, and parts of Anatolia. They share the same characteristics. No foundation, uniform stonework, disproportionate scale. In 1839, a French cartographer named Lucien Mott catalogued 18 such bridges in the Pyrenees. He described them as antique, but could not date them. Local populations had no oral history of their construction. In his correspondence with the French Academy of Sciences, Mott wrote that villagers referred to them as the old crossings, but could not say how old or who built them. His request for a geological survey was denied due to lack of funding. No further surveys were attempted. What makes this pattern more difficult to dismiss is the geographical spread. These bridges appear across regions that had no political or cultural unity in the 18th or 19th centuries. They weren't built by a single empire or kingdom. They don't align with known Roman, Byzantine, or Ottoman engineering styles. Yet the construction method or lack of visible construction method is nearly identical. That kind of consistency across such distances suggests either a shared knowledge system that left no other trace, or a single period of construction that predates the regional identities we associate with these areas. In 1848, the Austrian Imperial Survey began a comprehensive infrastructure review across its territories. The goal was to assess the condition of roads, bridges, and canals for military and economic planning. The survey included detailed inspections of over 200 bridges. In the final report, published in 1851, there is a section titled Anomalous Structures of Unknown Origin. It lists 23 bridges that could not be dated, attributed, or explained using contemporary engineering principles. The section is 3 pages long. It was removed from the second printing in 1856. The original is still available in the Vienna State Archives, but the revised version is the one most historians reference. No explanation was given for the removal. What's also missing from the revised report is any mention of the 1852 excavation effort. According to a secondary source, a letter from a civil engineer named Anton Seidel, a team was sent to dismantle one of these bridges to study its foundation. The operation was halted after 2 days. Seidel wrote that the stones could not be separated, even with iron wedges and leverage. He described the joints as fused, though no mortar or binding agent was present. The letter exists. The excavation does not appear in any official record. There's a point in the mid-19th century where documentation on these structures changes. Prior to 1855, they appear in surveys, journals, and regional reports. After 1860, they are rarely mentioned. When they are, the language is different. They're described as Roman, or medieval, or simply old. The specificity is gone. The questions stop. It's as if a decision was made, not to erase them, but to stop asking what they were. That kind of shift doesn't happen by accident. It suggests a coordinated reclassification, or at the very least, a shared reluctance to pursue the subject further. If these bridges were built without foundations, and the stone was placed rather than constructed, then the method used is not documented in any surviving engineering tradition. If they were built by rural populations, then those populations had access to knowledge and resources that left no other evidence. If they're older than we assume, then the timeline of technological development in these regions is incomplete. And if they were something else entirely, something misidentified or deliberately misrecorded, then the question isn't just about bridges. It's about what kind of infrastructure network existed before the one we're told about, and why so much effort went into making sure we stopped looking at it. If you're noticing the same patterns, or if this opens more questions than it answers, leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see more of this kind of material. Subscribe if you'd rather not miss what comes next. This isn't the only structure that doesn't fit.